Welcome, everybody. I am kicking off Unova with Serperior, and I am super hyped, not only for Unova, but also to show off the starters. But before I can get into that, I want to have a quick disclaimer. If you just happen to click on this video, or if you have yet to do so, to check out the description below. There is a link to the very same Google Sheet that I use in all my videos, and I feel like at this point I've memorized this little spiel that I give at the beginning of the videos, but yeah, just check that out in the description, because there is this very important move change guide here. I have buffed or changed basically every move in this hack, so it's very extensive, so definitely give those a look. Those are super important. But with that being said, we have Serperior, and the first thing I'm going to address is Intimidate, because I know somebody is going to look at that and raise an eyebrow. If you go to the Pokedex, it says, word for word, they raise their heads to intimidate opponents, but only give it their all when fighting a powerful opponent. So not only does it literally say word for word intimidate, but it also talks about, here, like it says, who are not fazed by the glare from Serperior's noble eyes. It fits with his personality. He's kind of like this imposing Pokemon, despite not being scary necessarily. Intimidate doesn't necessarily mean scary. We all know that already. He has Pokemon like Masquerain who aren't scary at all, but they scare you with something about them. Masquerain with the eyes and the false eyes. But look, my point is that Intimidate canonically fits, and Contrary is broken, because all of those moves, Draco Meteor, Leaf Storm, not only are there way more moves that do that same effect. For example, Frenzy Plant in this case also does that, and there's a move of every type for Draco Meteor in this hack, typically two, if I can help it, at least one though for every type. But my point is that Contrary would be absolutely busted. I would have to nerf his speed to like 93 for it to be even somewhat feasible. Because all of the other contrary Pokemon with those moves, there are contrary Pokemon with those moves, but they're all relatively slow. The fastest being Girafarig at base 100, and then you have like Spindo, which is like 95 if I remember correctly, and then you have like Sudowoodo, which is like 75. So you gotta like slap a choice item, or you need some type of support. You can't just brainlessly click Leaf Storm 6 times in 6-0 a trainer battle. That's broken. It's just not going to work. And I actually prefer these abilities anyways, because Contrary would only be useful until the very end of the game, because Draco Meteor is in Seafolk Village, and then the other level up moves would be late in the game. They would have to be at like level 70 for that to be balanced, or 65 or something, for the very late game. And that's no fun. I don't want to. I mean, it's not that Contrary is useless, because it's not outside of using those moves, but it's no fun. Like, I want actual useful abilities on my Serperior for most of the game, and you have that with not only Intimidate but also Hubris. Hubris is their other ability, very very fitting flavor wise. If you did play my other hack Baron Black, you'll probably know these abilities are the same that they could get in those hack, although I believe Hubris was Island Scan or something. But my point is that with access to one offensive ability, Hubris being Special Moxie, by the way, if you are new here, it functions like Soul Heart, which is even better, because if you kill something with Leech Seed, for example, or they just happen to knock themselves out from Weak Coil or some other way, or in a double battle, all of the post-game Rainbow Rocket fights are double battles, Hubris is incredible in those, because you're super fast and your special attack is solid. At base 90, it's a good special attack stat, that's solid. But the main allure here is the bulk of the utility. It's not necessarily that, oh my god, it's this offensive beast. It's because it's fast, and it's very tanky, especially with Intimidate. That's why I dropped its defense, because I wanted more stat points for HP and special attack, and so I just dropped the other stats a tiny bit, because defense, also just logically, it makes a little bit more sense for defense to not be that high anyways. And 102 HP is because Serperior is pretty damn big. It's 11 feet tall, 11 feet long, rather, so a bigger HP stat fits fine for Serperior. And the beautiful thing here is you have two like very different abilities that you can switch between depending on the situation. So in this hack, you do have access to infinite use ability capsules, so it's very easy to switch between Hubris and Intimidate when you need it. For one boss fight, you might need that offensive ability, and then the very next one, you might need Intimidate. You also have a lot of other great stuff with Intimidate. So you have Parting Shot, which is huge. You have utility like Taunt, Dual Screens. Intimidate, Sub Seed would be huge. Sub Leech Seed. Glare is buffed to drop the opponent's offensive stats by 1 on top of Paralyzing, because it's a relatively low distribution move. And because it's just nice to have utility like that. Because in this hack, the things are so strong that you're really going to want utility and stuff like, and defensive Pokemon. You're going to want them, especially if you're doing a Nuzlocke. If you're not doing a Nuzlocke, I guess you could just trade all the time, and or like you could play like super good in a Nuzlocke with a pure offensive team, but you're probably going to want to run some bulky stuff or some utility stuff. It's up to you. If it's a Nuzlocke, it's not up to you. But look, ranting aside, Serperior has offense and utility, and that's really fun. Tons of awesome stuff. there was some other stuff I needed to mention. Setup wise, it's got with Hubris, it's got Nasty Plot or Calm Mind, which is great. And then physically for setup, it has Swords Dance and Coil. Coil is pretty cool because they boost the accuracy of Power Whip, as well as Iron Tail and Aqua Tail, all of which are slightly inaccurate. They're all 90% accurate. I believe Aqua Tail's 95 actually. The other two, Iron Tail and Power Whip, are very strong and 90% accurate though. Accuracy in general is much higher in this hack overall. You can check out a little guide there on the ability sheet. I believe it's in the Luminescent section. You can see all the accuracy of all the moves, all the inaccurate moves. But yeah, Coil's still useful, you know. And also it learns it pretty early. It learns Coil before you'll get the Swords Dance and Calm Mind DMs and stuff. So, and Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot also being very fitting, of course. Hubris in general fitting because Serperior is like, you know, it's literally in the name. Serperior, it's superior to you. It's kind of like regal, high and mighty, cocky type Pokemon. You know, it thinks highly of itself. So, Hubris fits very well in that regard. Yeah, just a great, fast, offensive utility Pokemon. It's tanky as hell with Intimidate, 102, 80, 95. The typing, I haven't even talked about the typing yet. That's probably because, you know, other hacks have popularized the hell out of that idea. Funnily enough, for the longest time in development, I was actually considering Grass Dark or Pure Grass. I opted not for Grass Dark, and I was actually planning on Pure Grass for a while, but Grass Dragon, like, there would be a lot of people who would be upset without Grass Dragon, and also, like, it feels kind of stinky for him to be Pure Grass. Not that it's a bad typing. I mean, you know, Grass Dragon is great because you get those 4 times resist, but you also get a couple extra weaknesses, so it's not a fully beneficial typing. But, you know, offensively, it's great to have that dual stab, so it kind of balances out. Not to mention Dragon moves in general are way stronger in this hack. But yeah, speaking of, you have really good utility moves like Breaking Swipe as well. So not only do you have Parting Shot with Intimidate, which is huge because you can, you know, you're fast, you switch in, you intimidate them, Parting Shot out. Not only do you have access to that, you also have stuff like Breaking Swipe, which lowers both the opponent's offensive stats by 1, which is really strong. Yeah, you have powerful stab moves. You have Strength Step. I'm surprised I didn't mention that yet. Strength Step is huge. Absolutely incredible option right there. You know, it's a grass type, so you can kind of just slap that on whatever, and it's great for Superior, utility-wise and healing-wise. Of course, before that, you have Synthesis for healing. Yeah, that's really about it. There's a couple other things I could mention. Like, his physical move pool is slightly better, especially he only has Dual Stab, Weather Ball, Earth Power, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast late game, but that's only late game, and that's about it. Because, you know, it's Superior, you can't give him Thunderbolt or something stupid like that. So, you know, and also you have Natural Gift, which becomes any type in the game, and Nature Power will be really fun for specific coverage if you're running electric terrain or something, which is a very common thing in this hack, or you know, other terrains, but mostly electric terrain being a TM would be useful, or a Psychic Surge Pokemon getting that Psychic or Thunderbolt. But yeah, I'll leave the video off there, honestly. I'm not going to drag it on too long. Hopefully this isn't over 10 minutes. Thank you so much for listening, and I am excited to show off the other Unova starters coming up really soon, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, everybody. Oh, lastly, before I press stop sharing, please make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1K soon, so that would be very nice if you could do that for me. If you like this type of video, if you listen this far and you're not subscribed yet, definitely do that. And of course, check out the description below for the Google Sheets. Thank you, and goodbye for real now.